Hello and welcome to Soccer M and Football Daily's live coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup draw. We are very excited. With me in the studio today is, of course, Chris Hamill, Joe Tonneson from Football Daily. Joe, you look very happy.
I am very happy to be here. What a glorious setting.
Isn't it?
And very pale. Such a big draw. Yeah, get these lights on. I've got the makeup on.
Speak for yourself.
Flushing myself out. Yeah, very pale, unlike some in the studio.
Chris, how are you, mate?
I'm ecstatic to be here. This is very professional, and I'm looking forward to it. The next hour should be a good one.
It should be good. Here's how it's going to work. We are live right now. We're going to give you all the information as the draw unfolds and key stats on players, teams, the draw, everything you need to know. Plus, we will, of course, be explaining the rules. It's not just us three here today, because over there, we are calling it Social Corner. Who is in Social Corner, Zach?
Hello,
Nathan?
yes.
Hello.
It's me, Zach Jella from the Football Daily, and I'm joined by Soccer AM's best goalkeeper on Facebook and YouTube, Nathan Orr. How are you doing, mate?
I'm proud. I'm good, mate. I'm so excited for today. I just can't wait to get stuck into it.
I can't wait. We're going to be asking all your questions to the guys, so get them in the comments below or to our Twitter handles right there. Tweet us. That's what we're doing, Smithy. Back over to you.
Nathan's made it. He's got his own Twitter handle and everything.
Yeah,
Go on,
Nathan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shocking goalkeeper, though.
So, yeah, as they say, he's not the best keeper. As they say, get questions in the comments section below. We want to know who you think's going to win the tournament, your predictions, the lot. Before we get started, guys, you are very well placed to talk about the draw because you were in Russia this year for the Confederations Cup. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. We didn't spend the whole tournament there, but we were there for quite a long time, experiencing a bit of the culture. We watched a game, went to a couple of the cities. It was a really nice place, Russia. Really recommend going if you're thinking about buying a ticket.
Yeah. We had quite a sheltered tour, but we went to Moscow. And we went to Sochi as well. Nice. Saw the Luzhniki Stadium, watched Germany, Cameroon in Sochi, which is supposed to be Putin's favourite holiday destination. So how's that for a little nugget?
And what was Russia like at hosting a major tournament? Because obviously there's a lot of talk about the country and everything.
We can only articulate our sort of 5 days out there, but they were great. The people, quite a cold exterior, which is a stereotypical remark, but then when you get to know them, when you get to talk to them, they're very passionate about the game, very warm, receptive, inquisitive, especially in Sochi.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a remote place. It's quite an odd destination for a World Cup game, but beautiful. Dramatic backdrop, Smithy. Mountains everywhere.
I love a mountain.
Mountains and the sea, Smithy.
Yeah,
that's
a bit of both.
worlds.
Well, okay.
Get your tan on.
Right, should we head back to Social Corner? Zach, I think, is going through your comments. What you got for Zach?
Yes, well, we have our first question, and it is from Craig, and he's all the way up in Liverpool. Nathan, what is it, my friend?
Right, so earlier today we ran a poll. Who do you think is going to win the 2018 World Cup? And in that, France were actually the top. So 36% of people think that France are going to win the World Cup. So Craig's question follows to that, is that who do you think is going to win the tournament and why?
Ooh. Why is important as well. I don't want us to just say France or Germany. Who do you think is going to win and why, Joe?
I'm going for Spain.
Really?
Yeah, I think Spain's depth is not quite at France's level, but is more experienced depth. I think for a lot of France's depth is inexperience, doesn't have much major tournament pedigree, whereas Spain, I think, have depth in every single position, in particular midfield, and we know they like to play that 4-5-1. Also, the manager, Lopetegui, was the manager of the under-21 side when they won Euro 2013 under-21 tournament, so he's got experience with that team, with a lot of those players, and that will carry over. I think they'll be used to playing with each other, used to playing under the manager, play lovely football. They've been disappointing in the last two tournaments.
I was going to say, the counter-argument to that is they've done nothing in the last two tournaments. What was it? They lost to Italy, was it in the second round in the Euros? Got knocked out in the group stages in the last World
pretty
Cup.
unconvincing.
With a similar squad as well.
I wouldn't say a similar squad at all.
2 years ago.
I actually think Lopetegui is lining up with 7 or 8 of the same players who lost in that Italy game, but he is getting the best out of them.
But equally, yeah, I agree. He's a slightly different tactician to Del Bosque, and I think that the likes of Thiago, Isco, are starting to replace Iniesta. I think 2 years on from where they were, I think they are much improved. You look at where Alvaro Morata was 2 years ago, he's not the same player he is now. And I just think that has helped them. I also think there are a lot of winners in that team. Champions League pedigree amongst that side is incredible.
It's a great squad, isn't it? Chris, who are you saying, mate?
Well, similar to Joe, I think Spain will be up there. Even owing to their recent disappointments, it's hard to discount them. But I'm a purist, Smithy. I want it to be Tite's Brazil.
Do you? But will it be Tite's Brazil?
I mean, his record speaks for itself since he arrived. I think he took over after 6 games. They were 6th. Argentina were 3rd, I believe. and then that situation quickly developed, and they sort of swapped positions, didn't they? Brazil went top. I think they scored 35 goals.
Yeah, they were a different team, weren't they, on the
in the subsequent 15 games. One of the biggest decisions he made was bringing Gabi Jesus through, who at that point hadn't gone to Manchester City yet. He was still at Palmeiras, entrusted him with that number 9 position, which is a historic position in that Brazil team, isn't it? I think he ended up on 7 goals in 10 appearances, the joint top goal scorer with Neymar in that team. He's getting the best out of average players, I mean, average is a bit harsh. Paulinho has been good since he went to Barcelona. But Paulinho, mate, was playing in China when Tite took over.
I'm fully aware.
In 13 games, he got 6 goals and 3 assists out of Paulinho. Got the best out of Renato Augusto. They now look very solid in defence as well. Play a 4-1-4-1. And Casemiro sits in front of that back four, and he has been phenomenal for club and country during that period. What about yourself?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the fact that you're saying Spain, you're saying Brazil, heart versus head, you sort of want Brazil, but you think they've got enough. I'm France or Germany all the way. I think squad, France's squad, that their attacking options, Ousmane Dembele, Mbappe, Giroud, Lacazette. I mean, Koeman, they've got so many players. I'm a massive fan of Anthony Martial. Will he even be in that squad? It's that good. Do you know what I mean?
You'd think so.
But that's the strength and depth they have when you look at other countries. The one reason I like Germany is because they always perform at their best at major tournaments. They always seem to perform. I remember the tournament when they said. I remember vividly when they lost to Brazil in the final, and that was Germany's worst era. They had it was their transitional period. They got to the World Cup final. They always win penalty shootouts as well. They won the Confederations Cup with their B team. Would you agree with that? It was a lot of players out.
It was their youth team, effectively, wasn't it?
I mean, Julian Draxler was captain. He wasn't getting a game for PSG at the time, but it's still... This is what when we talk about the top teams, the strength and depth is incredible. Spain, Germany.
We're so far off
Brazil, not so much, actually. France, England are lacking it as well. But in that German side, Draxler, Goretzka, Leroy Sané wasn't even getting a game. Dembele plays for Hoffenheim. Timo Werner at Leipzig. So I'd agree with you. But you almost don't want to talk about Germany because you know they're going to be in the World Cup.
Exactly.
And it's just a given at this point.
Good first question, though. That is always so split, though. A lot of World Cups, there's a clear favourite. I don't think there is a clear favourite for this one. It's interesting that we all watch a lot of football and we've picked 4 teams there. Zach, what else have you got for us in Social Corner?
Well, our next question involves dark horses. Unfortunately, my Algeria and Nathan's Northern Ireland aren't going to be at the World Cup. But Ali from Cardiff has asked which team will be the surprise package / dark horse of the competition.
Ooh. I mean, the easy answer is Belgium, isn't it? But can they be considered as dark horses anymore with that unreal starting XI? If you rephrase the question a little bit, I think maybe Peru can be 2018's the Costa Rica of 2014, who obviously topped England's group, didn't they? England got their solitary point against Costa Rica.
Only lost on penalties to Holland as well in that tournament. They did very well.
With Brian Ruiz running things. But maybe Peru. Paulo Guerrero has been very good for them, although will he make the competition, given that ban? It might be overturned. And I just like the way they set up. Got a short passing game, sort of inspired by the Spanish. So for me, they might overperform in terms of what we expect from them. What about you two?
Yeah, see,
why don't you think Belgium?
I completely disagree with Belgium because they are just, for me, they're a team of very talented individuals, but they are a team of individuals. I've watched a lot of Belgian games and they're almost like they don't know their starting 11. They've got so many similar players for me, particularly in the attacking sense.
And they've also got a really poor manager.
Do you think there's a poor manager?
Yeah, Bobby Martinez, nowhere near qualified to manage that group of players, I don't think. I think if you had a really top manager as the manager of that group of players, then they would go far, but Bobby Martinez is not that man.
Defence is what he struggles with, right? Because they scored an unprecedented amount of goals in the qualifiers. I think it was 40 plus.
You know, Vertonghen, who's their all-time appearance holder recently, Alderweireld, Company. I think for Marlon he's still there as well. I mean, they've got a lot of options, but they don't... For me, Belgium, it's a bit like England, actually. They always seem to underperform. I mean, they lost... I remember watching the Wales game, and Wales were quite comfortable against them. But,
I mean, England have the pedigree, whereas Belgium were being perpetuated as the dark horses at the 2010, 2014 tournaments, weren't they? This time round, they have seasoned veterans. They have a high calibre of players, so you do expect more from them. But there was a little bit of dissent when they, I think, drew with Mexico in the last friendly. It was 3-3. Kevin De Bruyne said... tactically, they outclassed us.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for him to say that is a little indication.
dig,
it might
isn't it?
intimate, it might confirm what Joe's intimating.
Yeah, I think it's been the same for Bobby Martinez for a number of years. I think it was the same at Wigan. I think when he went to Everton, he actually had a defence that was solid, built on the foundations that David Moyes had put in place over a number of years. And then 1-2 seasons later, that defence started to fall by the wayside. The exact same thing can be said of Belgium. Their defensive unit is fantastic on paper. Alderweireld, Kompany and Vertonghen. But then you look at how he's playing it. Often he plays Vertonghen as a left-back, then he plays Alderweireld and Kompany as centre-halves. Does that really work? Meunier is is up and down everywhere, scoring more goals than midfielders. I just don't really like his tactical setup.
Who's your dark horse then, quickly?
I don't think many of the small teams will do well this time because the top teams are so good at this tournament. Potentially Colombia could outperform a few people's expectations, I think. I think Davinson Sanchez has really grown at Tottenham Hotspur.
Not as good as years gone by, though.
No, not as good as years gone by, but equally I think that makes the expectations of the home nation slightly lower. I think Falcao is doing well in Liga at the moment, isn't he? I think he's got 13 and 12 for Monaco this year. But, like you said, they're not the team they once were. Heavily reliant on Davinson Sanchez about. You're obviously a Spurs fan. He's been top for you, hasn't he?
Well, what's so impressive about Davinson Sanchez is he's come into a defence that's already good defensively when you have Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen. And don't forget Eric Dyer sits in there on a lot of games as well. And he's come in, and Poch has played him in the centre of the three, which surprised me straight away when he was brought in big games. You'd think, OK, he's a centre-back, he's playing in that three, put him on the right side. You know, let Toby do the busy stuff in the middle. He put him straight in the middle.
He's athletic, though, isn't he? That's why he's in there,
athletic. He's a great player, and I think... Yeah, Uruguay? What are your thoughts on Uruguay? I've got a little sneaky feeling that Uruguay might surprise a few people.
My dark horse is Peru beat Uruguay 2-1, a very credible victory. Although they did finish second in Uruguay.
But do you take too much... Can you be reading too much into qualifying, do you think? Because this is England's thing, isn't it? We always blitz qualifying and then suddenly we don't...
But the South American qualifiers are notoriously hard in comparison to the very favourable groups that, say, England get in Europe, which often has teams that, you know, we just walk all over. I think we're unbeaten...
When is 2009 we last lost a qualifying game, which is the longest of any international side.
Capello, Hodgson and
it's incredible.
haven't lost a qualifier.
I think Uruguay are OK. They're very suspect at the back. I think they conceded 20 goals in qualifying at the back, which is the most of any of the South American top teams. Yeah, Godin and Jose Jimenez, which both partner each other at Atletico Madrid. You thought they would slot straight in. Not really been the case. They are good going forward.
Suarez and Cavani, I mean...
But Suarez hasn't been on good form for Barcelona, hasn't been playing well this season. He started to find it again, but... which Suarez is going to get at the World Cup?
I mean, Cavani's got 25 goals in 24 games in all competitions at club level this season. But
I think as well, though...
10 in 15 for Uruguay?
It's unbelievable. But recently as well, in the friendlies, I think they lost 2-1 to Austria, didn't they? They drew 0-0 against Poland. I think...
They've been trying a few new systems,
They've been trying a lot of new systems out, and I just wonder whether they haven't quite got that settled enough 11 to challenge deep at the World Cup. I don't think they're quite there yet.
OK. The draw is nearly upon us, so we'll carry on taking a few of your questions before the draw starts. It's getting ever so close. So, Zach, Nath, what you got for us now, guys?
The comments are flying in.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Good. They're flying in. So, earlier, we ran a poll. This is actually the most common question that's been asked. So it's how far will England get in the 2018 World Cup? It's the question that everyone here wants to know. In our poll earlier, it was really interesting. 37% of the people who voted thought that England gets to the round of 16, so the last 16, and only 13% of those people thought England would get to the semi-finals and beyond. So the real question is, back over to you guys. What do you guys think?
Only 13% of people
where do we start
think
with this
England
Smithy,
can get to the semi-final. Can England win the World Cup, Joe?
No, absolutely. Well, I don't want to say absolutely because anything can happen at a major tournament, but in my opinion, they're some way off both. Behind the scenes, I think the coaching setup isn't good enough. I don't think Gareth Southgate's a good enough manager to manage that group of players.
Really?
I just don't think he's
maybe not good enough yet, but not experienced enough at this point,
Yeah, as well, not experienced enough. And I also think that England's strength in depth is so weak. Behind kind of 2 or 3 key players, you look at Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling more than anybody else this year, who's been an absolute match winner for Manchester City. I don't know... I couldn't name you a player that's going to come in and win you a match in those games. Whereas I could look at that Spain squad and I could say Isco, Asensio, David Silva. France, we've already talked about Ousmane Dembele, Martial, Coman.
You can build 2 or 3 starting 11s with those sides.
For England, we're looking at Livermore, Jack Cork, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We're talking Palace, Burnley players here. Yeah. It's not good enough.
Who are all good players at Premier League level, but
can you say anything to all the English fans watching this now to give them faith that England can go? Give us some positives.
I think we have a really good starting 11.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if a big player was to fall foul to injury, a Harry Kane, we'd certainly suffer. I think our top goal-scoring qualifications was Harry Kane with 5 goals, and then our next highest scorer was Lallana.
Two, I think he had.
Yeah, we're a number of players on 2 goals. I think we can line up really well. Personally, I'd go with Fraser Forster in goal. I know that's probably going to... you two might debate that, but I think so far this season he's been the best from Butland, Joe Hart and himself. I think he's making around 3 saves per goal at the minute, which is triple the amount of any other goalkeeper that I've just mentioned. You go with Kyle Walker and Danny Rose at wing-back now. We're going to play a 4-3-3, John Stones, who would you partner him next to? Maybe an Eric Dyer or a Gary Cahill?
I personally think that Gareth...
play Dyer as a centre-back.
I think Gareth Southgate is definitely going to play 3 at the back. I don't think there's any... I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he has said that.
All of his
quite
qualifying
openly to the press. But at the minute, I think it's quite easier to line up in a 4-3-3 without kind of experimenting.
If I wasn't, I wouldn't line up in a 3 at the back. I completely agree. I'd have John Stones and Phil Jones at centre half. I think definitely.
So Phil Jones over Gary Cahill, right?
Yes, 100%.
Do you agree
and how
with that?
far Phil Jones over Gary Cahill? I don't know. This is the thing. It's a tough one. We can't even agree on the goalkeeper, let alone the defenders. And the point about the great teams is that they've got a starting 11 and then they've got filler players to come in off the bench.
Yeah.
I think with England, it's very hard to pick. If you're in a room with 10 people, to pick many players that all 10 of you would agree this is the starting 11. It's so hard to pick a starting 11.
We've not even made it past the back four.
We've not even made it past the back four. OK, prediction of how far England will get then?
Round of 16. I think we'll probably go second in the group and get knocked out by a much better
team. I did a little bit of research earlier, lads, and this is the worst and best case scenario that England can get, in my opinion. In terms of the group stages, yeah. So, best case scenario for England, Russia, England, Tunisia and Panama, which you'd hope we get to the last 16.
If we don't get to the last 16 in that group, we should never be playing international football again.
It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And the worst case scenario, Germany, England, Costa Rica and Nigeria.
Yeah, that very well brings me on to the rules of the tournament, actually, which you guys need to pay attention to because there are a few permutations, just so you know exactly how the draw is going to work.
Word.
So there are 4 pots. There are 8 teams in all 4 pots. This is done by the FIFA World Ranking. So the best 7 teams in terms of ranking, as well as the host nation, Russia, of course, are in pot 1. The next best 8 teams in pot 2, followed by pot 3, with the lowest ranking teams in pot 4. Now, the groups are, of course, made up of 1 team from each pot. That's the simple bit. Now, the hard bit, pay attention, is that no 2 teams from the same confederation can be in the same group, with the exception of European teams, because there's so many European teams. There can be a maximum of 2 European teams in one group. So a lot of people on social media have been doing their groups of death, which Joe just did. I saw one today. Chris, sorry, just did. Which I saw Germany, England and Denmark. That cannot happen. Why can that not happen, Joe?
Because there's 3 European teams.
Exactly, yeah.
Nailed that.
I'm not going to ask you your group of deaths because that will test your geography more so. But looking at the pots there, I'm going to ask you, who do you think England want to avoid from each pot? From pot 1.
I think...
Germany.
Yeah, Germany. Definitely avoid Germany from pot 1. Also, I really wouldn't want to play Brazil.
Brazil, interesting.
We fared pretty well against them with a effectively reserve side, didn't we? But Brazil...
But we set up so defensively.
Yeah, on their day can be absolutely imperious. However, Germany could put out 2 starting 11s.
Germany,
England, I think. So.
You just don't want to be drawn with Germany.
I mean, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. Germany, I think, will cause us a lot of problems. Obviously, we can't play Spain. Spain are in the same pot of us, so there's some good news there. Pot 3, which consists of Denmark, Iceland, Costa Rica, Sweden, Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal and Iran. Chris, who do they... I've got your name right this time.
Perfect.
Who do they want to avoid in pot 3?
The Danes have looked pretty plucky in this qualifying campaign. Yeah, another one of your Tottenham boys, Christian Eriksen. I think he's scored, what, 11 goals in his last 12 appearances?
Fantastic hat-trick in the last game.
3 assists as well.
Exciting team.
Costa Rica didn't fare very well
Egypt
against them last time. Mohamed Salah's Egypt. No, I think they're pretty much a one-man team. They have been nicknamed Mohamed Salah's Egypt during the qualification process. So I wouldn't fear Egypt.
So defensive.
However, they have conceded very few goals and played 5 at the back, and we might find that hard to break down.
I think England would really struggle against a team like Egypt. I think if Egypt was to sit as they have through pretty much the whole of qualifying with 9 men behind the ball, Mo Salah up top, looking to use that counter-attack, I think there's a statistic. in the last 30 games, they haven't conceded more than 1 goal per game. They're just pure defensive output. That's what they're looking for. They've got an Argentinian boss, and he isn't particularly liked in Egypt. They play very defensively, but nevertheless, England would struggle to break that down because we have not got enough individual talents going forward.
Unless Raheem Sterling can maintain that form.
I agree with Joe there. I mean, when we were out in France, we covered the whole Euro 2016 in France, of course, and I totally agree that these teams that sit back, that people on paper don't think are the good teams. Martin Tyler made a great point, was saying, actually, the teams that sit back, England find very hard to break down. If we were to play
Slovenia or Slovakia,
yeah, if we were to play a France or a Germany that would attack us, it might suit us. The way that we play, it might suit us a little bit more. The amount of games that England have been in major tournaments against the so-called teams that just sit back, we struggle to break teams down.
So who's our pace? If we were to sit back against the side and hit them on the break, Marcus Rashford, Raheem
Sterling. I wouldn't play Dele Alli against a
although against, as I just said prior, against these smaller teams, you're hoping that Sterling can carry his form from Manchester City into the national setup, because he has been unpicking sitting sides in the Premier League. I think he scored 4 goals in the last 8 goals in the last 10 minutes of games in the Premier League. Yeah, he's won them 14 points alone. So I think a lot of our sort of chances in that field hinge on him, which is odd because 2 years ago everyone was sort of writing him off.
I think England's biggest problem though still is central midfield. We do not have good enough central midfielders. Our central midfield options are so limited and they are so defensive.
Doesn't bode well to Jordan Henderson's not been good for Liverpool.
I'm talking about all kind of midfielders. I don't think any of them are good enough.
You'd have Dyer sitting, would you?
I'd probably. I mean, the trouble with having Eric Dyer sitting is that Jordan Henderson is probably going to play as well. And then you've just got 2 midfielders who offer nothing going forward.
Name your midfield then, go on.
I would probably play a 4-3-3. I would probably have Dyer, Henderson, Dele Alli.
Yeah.
I'd play Dele Alli a little bit deeper than he's used to playing at Spurs, I think, which is a shame. And that might cut him off a little bit.
Well, if you're going to play Henderson and Dyer right, then Dele Alli can push on.
And also he has played in that role for Spurs. He has played deep.
But he's much better as like a second striker,
Much better as number 10, yeah.
Yeah, but also, it's the sort of chat, do you have Jack Wilshere in there? What happens to Adam Lallana? Where does Adam Lallana fit into that team? Because for me, against a sitting defence, I would actually rather have Adam Lallana than Dele Alli. I think Adam Lallana... He almost got that Eriksen quality of just like a dinked ball or like a back heel that works. Or I'm not sure Dele Alli. I think Dele Alli is better on the end of that ball than he is delivering that.
See, I'd play a variation of that. So you just have against the sitting defence, Eric Dyer at the back, and then Lallana and Ali in that midfield. Now that's quite attack-minded, but I actually think Lallana is an incredibly intelligent midfielder. Yeah. He's great at carrying,
very good as well.
Great at carrying the ball, good at breaking the press. We need him back for this World Cup.
Yeah,
so let's hope he can kick on with Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool.
That's another issue, though, isn't it? Fitness as well.
Yeah.
He's talking about players that aren't even fully fit at the minute and things like that. So there's so much.
It's got a very workmanlike midfield, though. But that front three, if you had a Rashford, Sterling, and Harry Kane on Son, anyone in world football should fear them. So let's not get too down.
Vardy's been absolute star this season for Leicester as well. He loves scoring in big games. So I wouldn't discount Vardy of being a potential...
You'd hate to play him in the last 10 minutes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely,
100% against even a sitting defence. Like, he was unpicking teams. I remember the Wales game in the Euros where I think he was offside in the end. Was he offside? But he got the equaliser, didn't he? Came on and changed the game. So I think that he'll definitely be on the playing, Jay Vard.
Right, exciting times. The draw is almost upon us. So I think we can head back to our friends Nathan and Zach, who I think I've only met once before today. They're getting on swimmingly over there.
It's been great.
Before the draw starts. What you got for us, lads?
Well, you asked what you would prefer for your draws. Simon Mignolet from Liverpool and Belgium's goalkeeper asked on Twitter he would like England, Spain or Croatia from pot 2, from pot 3, Egypt or Senegal, and from pot 4, Serbia. We've also seen pictures of Maradona turning up for the draw, and this brings us nicely to our next question, which comes from Lee from Southampton, and he's asked, who do you think will win the Golden Ball?
The Golden Ball or the Golden Boot was that?
The Golden Boot, top goal scorer. This is a tough one, because a lot of people have regularly predicted this wrong in the past. Golden Boot last time was won, of course, by James Rodriguez.
Yes.
Colombia, which I don't think many people predicted beforehand. No. Everyone go Messi, Ronaldo, but it's often not the case. Lionel Messi did win the player of the tournament in the last World Cup.
Somewhat debatable.
Do you remember? A lot of people didn't say. I mean, I'm Messi's biggest fan, but was he the best player in that tournament? I'm not so sure.
I think he looked embarrassed.
Top goal scorer?
Top goal scorer. OK, outside what your Messis and Ronaldos.
No, who do you think?
I mean, Ronaldo has been in brilliant form for Portugal, hasn't he? 15 goals, a couple of assists as well. I think that's a goal every 50-odd minutes.
Yeah.
But Lewandowski in qualification, If Poland can get a favourable group, then he stands a fighting chance. There's only 16 goals. Edison Cavani as well, in the form of his life.
Neymar, would you? I mean, surely Neymar's going to score a lot of goals for Brazil.
There's this thing with Brazil where they had, under Dunga, they were very, very dependent on Neymar. And since Tite's come in, he's alleviated that somewhat, and he's actually allowed Neymar to go out wide, which he prefers to do. We see it at PSG. Yeah. He's destructive from that left-hand side. And they've got Gabby Jesus up front, who has probably scored more goals than Neymar. He probably scored more goals than Neymar in the final 5 or 6 games in particular. So I think Jesus will probably outscore Neymar, but Neymar will be one of the chief creators of that tournament. He's averaging about 7 take-ons a game in the UCL. That is mental.
Lewandowski's a good shout actually as well, because Poland are in pot 1 as well, so you'd suggest they're going to get an OK draw unless they get the worst teams from pot 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
He does score goals, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Griezmann, we're chucking Griezmann in there as well?
I don't know whether you could put a France forward in because there's so many tatalented ones. So they can't say who's going to start. You don't know who's going to get the goal. I think Thomas Müller is always in with a shout. He's been much improved under Jupp Heynckes since Bayern Munich changed the managerial situation. I also think Timo Werner is an outside shout in that Germany side. He's got a fantastic record in 2017 and he's got 30 goals. Bear in mind, Harry Kane's got, what, 39, so he's not too far off him.
Timo Werner,
so I think he's an interesting shout.
Will he start, though?
Yeah, will he start? That is a big, big question. But I'm personally going to go for Alvaro Morata. I think Morata has been in superb form for Chelsea. And I think if he does lead that line, bearing in mind whether Diego Costa comes back or not is still up in the air, if he does lead that line, I think he'll be the chief goal scorer for Spain. Because they're going to play 5 in midfield, you know all of those midfielders are going to be creative. He is going to get so many chances.
Worryingly for him, though, they looked brilliant against Italy without playing a striker.
But equally, they always
was in that role, wasn't he? But I think he was averaging a goal every 42 minutes in qualification.
And
barely played.
We said it at the start. We said it at the start of the season, didn't we? We kind of hinted that I thought he might be top scorer in the Premier League this season. I thought he'd score more goals than Romelu Lukaku.
You did say he had a higher ceiling than Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, I did.
One of your half-decent shouts, and there's not many.
I know, and I just think that Alvaro Morata, because he will be the spearhead for that, whoever the striker is, if it's Costa or Morata, whoever's the spearhead for that Spain side, will score a lot of goals.
I think it'll be Morata. 5 minutes now till the draw. We're looking at pictures now. There are some absolute legends there. It's Gordon Banks, Pelé, I saw Laurent Blanc.
Fraud.
Southgate is now just having a few words as well, so we're 5 minutes away.
What do we make of him, Southgate?
What do I make of Gareth Southgate? It's an interesting one. We did something with Ryan Bertrand, actually. He made the point that he's very well respected within the team because he's played in a major tournament. So a lot of the players actually say they've not had that from an England manager that... Obviously, he played in Euro 96, famously missed the penalty, but he's played in a very good England team. And he says that the respect issue, a lot of the players say, is there with Southgate because he's been through it as a player. I think he's a safe bet, of course he is. Is he the best tactically in a major tournament? We don't know, really. We don't know. But is he the best tactically? We don't know.
I can see England's thinking bringing him in because he coached the under-21s, didn't he, beforehand? Did an underwhelming job with them. But he was supposed to make the pathway clearer from the youth sides to the senior side,
To a certain extent, he's done that. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, of course, has come from...
I think he's been good at giving some of the young blood debuts. And also, don't forget, some of our good players in the last 2 friendlies that we drew to Germany and Brazil were the young players. That a lot of people beforehand said, what are they doing in the squad? So it's hard for a manager. Sometimes you put these players in and the people go, why are you giving this person a start? And then he plays well. You sometimes can't win as a manager,
But why has Jake Livermore been in the last few squads?
You let us know in the comment section below. What do you think?
Because he's not going to the World Cup,
is he good enough for England?
And he's been terrible.
Professionally palmed off.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
What do you think? Let us know in the comment section. The question is, do I think Jake Livermore go to the World Cup?
Like, why has he been in the last few squads? He's been nowhere near good enough to be in those squads.
He's another very workmanlike player, isn't he?
Well, what's interesting, in answer to your question there, is that Southgate did actually say in one of his squads that he had so many injuries that there were certain players that were in the squad that maybe weren't there.
I think that's a cheap excuse.
Weren't the best players, but
he's
they
been
did have a
in
lot of
every
injuries.
squad, Livermore. He was playing against Germany, in Germany, Livermore, when Southgate had nearly a full quota of team. If Livermore goes to the World Cup, then we well and truly are in trouble because he's nowhere near
The only thing I would say about that is, I know he's 28 and he's been playing at a fine level for X amount of time, but a lot of those players that won the Under-17 World Cup, the Under-20 World Cup, the Under-21 Euros, was it? They don't get a game for their parent club, do they?
Yeah, good point.
So it's quite hard to progress them at this point. Tammy Abraham, case in point, he brought him through, and he's only getting a game at Swansea because he went out on loan, isn't he? So So maybe the Premier League has to take a bit more responsibility, like the Bundesliga does.
True.
The Bundesliga are
good point,
very
that.
simpatico with their national team. Very simpatico.
Yeah, and apologies, Jake Livermore, if you are watching, and good luck. I hope you make the squad.
Well,
just to put that in. Let's recap how the pots are going to work. Here you can see are the pots. So just to go over again, we are a few minutes away. There are 4 pots made up of 8 teams, should I say. Pot 1. It's basically the best teams in pot 1, next best in pot 2, next best in pot 3, and the weakest based on FIFA World Ranking in pot 4. Of course, Russia are the hosts, so they are also in pot 1. You cannot have 2 teams from the same confederation in the same pot, except for European countries, where you can have a maximum of 2.
I think whatever pot 2 side gets, Russia and Poland will be laughing.
You think?
Yeah. Russia have been really poor. They had a really ageing squad at the Euros, didn't they? Had a lot of 35-plus-year-olds, in particular, at the back. The new manager's come in. He's freshened up, brought a young side together, hasn't he?
Drop their best player? Is it Denisov?
Yeah, I mean, there's behind the scenes, similar in a similar sort of way to Serbia. Serbia, there's been a lot of problems behind the scenes. Same with Russia, and I just think Russia could be in big trouble as a pot 1 team. I would be desperate to draw Russia.
Of course, would you? South Africa are the first home nation not to make it out the group stage. So
Russia will
Russia be the second?
Said, though, England had Russia in the most recent tournament they were in and didn't beat Russia. 1-0. OK, they scored late on. Yeah. But it's, you know, I mean, everyone's saying we want to get Russia. We played Russia in the last tournament and didn't beat them.
Very different team now. I mean, you look at the 36, 37-year-old centre-backs now, they're no longer in the side. Like you said, Denisov, who is Russia's best player, the defensive midfielder.
He's the attacking midfielder.
Attacking midfielder, yeah. No, Denisov's the defensive, The attacking midfielder, Alan Zagoev, he's still in the squad. But Denisov, he has been dropped from the squad because he's had a bust-up with the manager, and he's their best player.
He plays for Lokomotiv Moscow, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be big problems for Russia, I think. They're kind of playing a 3-5-2. It's all a bit up in the air. Obviously, they didn't have to go through the qualifying process either, so they've been playing a lot of friendlies. I'm very unconvinced about Russia.
True. That is true. No qualification, of course.
Good luck to them, though. Beautiful people out there.
Yes. Well said, Chris. Social corner. Guys, it's quite quiet over there. Hey, how are you getting on?
We're going well. It's going well. I think the stream's going brilliantly. I can't wait for the draw.
Exactly.
Nathan, there you go. Nathan, what is our next question, mate?
So Paul from Nottingham wants to know which African nation will be the best at the tournament.
Over to you lot. I think there's a different ways you can approach this question. Are you going to approach it as who's going to go the furthest or who's going to be the best? Because I don't think the team that goes the furthest will be the best to watch. I think Egypt will go the furthest, but they'll be dreadful to watch. They'll be grinding out 0-0 draws with everybody.
I think he means who will go the furthest,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's an outstanding African team in it
really
this year, which is a shame because I remember, was it 2010 or 2014? I think it was 2010 where Ghana made it to the quarterfinals.
Before Luis Suarez.
Which one was it, 2010 or 2014? Either one, boys.
Yeah.
But Luis Suarez, he handballed it, didn't he? But that was a really good Ghanaian side. However, I think Nigeria, for me, are probably the strongest African team in it this year. Got some standout players in the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho, Musa, not been great for Leicester, but he was good in Russia, Alex Iwobi. Jonathan Mikel is still captain.
Victor Moses, he's fantastic for Nigeria. Plays as a right winger rather than a right back as he does for Chelsea. He's really good.
They have a very mean defence as well. You were talking about Egypt. They only conceded 4 goals in qualification in a group that included, I think it was Cameroon
and Algeria.
Algeria, Zach. Yeah. Beat Algeria, didn't they? Was it 3-1 or 4-0?
Don't, he says.
Zach just shaking his head. Thank you for that input, Zach.
There's also a bit of a shout for Senegal. I don't know much about Senegal. Kind of Senegal's second best generation of the last 2 decades. 2002, they had a very good.
Only the second time they've qualified.
Yeah, I think 2002 was the last time when that was sort of El Hadj Diouf spearheading the team, and that mantle has kind of been taken up by Sadio Mane to some extent. Sadio Mane, obviously,
great player though.
Great player. Very, very fast. I don't know whether Senegal make the most of him. Obviously, he was outscored by Mame Biram Diouf in qualifications, so not fantastic for him. But equally, on his day, he's as dangerous as any player at this tournament. So Senegal shouldn't be discounted. Senegal really shouldn't be discounted.
Yeah, worth pointing out there are 5 African teams: Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria, Senegal, Tunisia. While we're here as well, 14 from Europe. That is the most. 5 from Africa, 5 from South America, 5 from Asia, and there is 3 from North and Central America and the Caribbean, who are Costa Rica, Mexico, and Panama. So, yeah, Europe with the most representatives with 14. Good question, that, guys. Nathan, got anything for us on the old soccer
so the legends are rolling in the red carpet in Russia. It's not just Maradona, but you've got Ronaldinho, Marcel Desailly, and Diego Forlan.
They're all there.
And that brings
How
us
did he
Diego
make the list?
Forlan.
Former Golden Ball winner.
Yeah,
Hold your
exactly.
tongue.
Exactly.
Sorry,
So
guys.
2010 former Golden Ball winner. So that brings us on to Lizzie's question, who would like to ask, who do you think will win the Golden Ball, aka the player of the tournament?
Ooh, player of the tournament.
Ronaldo will be chomping at the bit, desperate lads. Messi has one, he doesn't. This is his probably his last World Cup. He'll be 37 by the time the next one comes around, where he's 36 or 37.
There he is.
And
Great
I
photo
think
of him there.
Portugal are in a strong position.
He looks
Do you think Portugal's in a strong
he
position?
looks gorgeous. Look at the size of that Adam's apple.
Big Adam's apple, isn't it?
It's like a grapefruit.
He looks happy there, doesn't
They're in a much stronger position than they were 18 months ago. Obviously, having won the Euros accounts for that. The manager has galvanised those players. However, the defence is ageing rapidly. Bruno Alves is 37.
Yeah.
I think Pepe is 33, 34, potentially older. However, they do have some good young creative players in Bernardo Silva and the young boy Andre Silva, who is misfiring somewhat at AC Milan, but banging on an international level. 9 goals, I believe, in qualification.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Paul Pogba.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Paul Pogba.
David Silva. I think it might be one of those
That'd
two.
be a nice
David
pace
Silva's
change,
good,
traditionally won by strikers.
Yeah, I think Paul Pogba... The reason I think it's always won by strikers is they have that sort of like aura around them. Not only do they score goals, but they're the sort of biggest names at the tournament. I think they don't get much bigger than Paul Pogba right now in terms of his presence, his commercial viability, and I think that does come into effect with FIFA, by the way.
Yeah.
Hence why Messi won
Isn't
it.
it the Adidas Golden Ball?
It may well be, and
think
if
it
it is, conspiracy theories.
That
but
is your beliefs, we must say, and the beliefs of no one
All
else.
opinions are my own.
This is the beliefs of Football Daily.
Yeah, and Paul
good
Pogba
ones
recently
as well.
won the Young Player of the Year,
Yeah.
Young Player of the tournament in the last World Cup. So a lot of people forget about
I
it.
think he'll be really instrumental for France. He's going to have a really good tournament. It's been great for Manchester United so far this season.
Interesting how United's form's dipped when he was injured as well, isn't it?
well,
he's such an influential player for United.
He is by far probably our best player at Manchester United. So for France, he's going to be extremely influential. But I think Smithy's tapping me on the leg. So
I am, because we're going to go
What
to
is
the
going
feed
on?
now. We're going to talk to you about the feed, because Diego Maradona is... talk us through that outfit.
He's got
a
lost
black
a bit of
suit
timber,
with
though.
a yellow bow tie. I mean, if you're Diego Maradona, you can get away with wearing anything.
It is kind of you to let him go in your wardrobe before that, I mean, Smithy.
I would wear that,
nice
yeah.
of you,
There's Laurent Blanc. Interesting just to point out, the guests at the draw will include representatives from each of the 8 nations that have won a World Cup. So they are Laurent Blanc, there he is, just walked out from France. Gordon Banks, of course, England legend. Cafu from Brazil, what a player he was, by the way.
There he is.
Fabio Cannavaro of Italy. Diego Forlan of Uruguay. Diego Maradona with his yellow bow tie from Argentina. Carlos Puyol from Spain. And Miroslav Klose of Germany. They're all just walking onto the stage now. They are the ones that will be the guests and doing the draw. It is a long, drawn-out draw, so we're going to have all the graphics, all the update.
Maradona has lost a lot of pudding.
Yeah, he has
Who's
lost
that?
it.
Carlos Puyol? There he is.
Oh,
Puyol's still got the old hair, hasn't he? He's got that locks going
Lion's
on.
mane.
He
That
has.
lion's
It's
mane. What a
fantastic
guy.
to look at. What are these, like,
There's some
humans
incredible outfits.
accompanying them out? They're, like, in these big,
Joe,
long
can we get
dresses.
talking about the outfits as well? Because we've
Shepherding
spoken a lot about football, but there are some... I mean, look at that outfit.
Fabio.
Fabio Cannavaro, the rare breed of player that chose to be bold during his playing career.
That's a great shout.
So,
Dolce
Fabio
Gabbana.
Cannavaro
he looks 10 years
looks
younger than when he
class.
played.
He looks... Can I just say, Fabio Cannavaro looks incredible for his age.
Yeah, he really does.
Incredible for his age. Interesting to point out as well that Gary Lineker will also be doing the draw. It's taking place at Moscow's State Kremlin Palace. Gary Lineker, of course, who won the Golden Boot in '86, I believe. Mexico
9 goals,
World
was
Cup.
it? Yeah.
He scored 10 goals in total
nearly.
for England, 6 goals in that World Cup. No Englishman has scored more World Cup goals than Gary Lineker, and there he is.
Has he still got
he's
the,
on.
Speak
the
of the
muzzle?
man.
He is on screen.
There is Gary Lineker.
There's another man who's aged incredibly well.
Yeah.
And let us know in the comment section
fine
who you
wine,
think,
Gary.
who is the biggest legend out of all of those on stage. I suspect many of you will say Maradona.
For you, who is it?
but I would say Maradona, yeah.
Take
Really?
Maradona out of it, because
I'd
that's
say,
just silly with him in there.
I'd say Pele over Maradona, though. I'm Pele over Maradona.
Really?
I mean, it's not my era as
No
much
way,
as you
Diego.
probably think it is. I'm not that
sure?
old.
Are you sure?
But I'm Pele over Maradona slightly, and I'm Messi over Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think
agree,
most
yeah.
people Messi over Ronaldo, but I'm surprised at you, mate. I thought you were...
Pele?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of the Seleção, but Maradona, one-man team, was it 86?
I mean, they're both... Yeah, the hand of God. I don't like
And
that.
a God,
That's
that's
what's
what's
big
about
about
Smithy. Smithy's
Didn't like
such
it.
a big Englishman that he's written
proud
Maradona off.
Englishman.
No, they're
his
two
handbook.
fantastic players. Let's
feel
know what
like
you
I'm
think in the
spinning a
comments
lot.
section, of course. So we are minutes away from the draw. Time for a few real quick questions, Zach. Social corner.
Yes, well, seeing as James Rodriguez shined at the World Cup last time and actually got him his move to Real Madrid, Which youngster do you think will have a breakout tournament?
Ooh. Good question. Good question.
Potentially Leroy Sané for me.
I'm also going to go for another German, Timo Werner.
Yeah.
I think Leroy Sané will have a breakout tournament, but just more related to the question, I think, is that he's already at such a big club. I don't really know where he can go from here.
I mean, James Rodriguez was at Monaco, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, but then he got the move to Madrid, and I suppose you're right, he could move to Madrid. I'm going to go for Timo Werner because he is still playing RB Leipzig, and I think
I get your
in the summer, there's going to be a lot of clubs interested in him. I think he's involved in a goal every 88 minutes in 2017, which is really impressive for such a young player. RB Leipzig have obviously been impressive in the Bundesliga, rising up from the lower leagues, really, and
not so much this season.
Not so much this season. They are still second in the league, I think, now. Or maybe third, but second or third in the league.
Full.
Yeah, Dortmund have fallen away a little bit. But I think Timo Werner, not only has he been good domestically, I think this could be the major tournament and the big stage he really needs to propel himself to that next level, if he gets the game time, that is.
Unless it's noisy.
Yeah. He obviously can't play in loud environments, which isn't fantastic, Timo Werner. I can't remember which stadium it was, like Galatasaray, was it?
I think it's
and he has hearing problems, so they're booing him, and he had to be subbed off. So fingers crossed it's not too loud in the Luzhniki Stadium. But he's a phenomenal striker, and there are a lot of clubs crying out for a striker, Real Madrid being number one of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that, Real Madrid. Right, the pots, you can see they are flashing. We're going to give you our own graphics now.
On screen.
Cheers, Seb.
There they are, look at that. So as you can see, the pots will all be displayed in the right-hand corner. And as the teams get drawn, they will be put into the relevant groups. So we want you to tell us who you think has the hardest group and the easiest groups as they get drawn. We are moments away. I know I keep saying we are moments away, but they've been on stage for a very long time.
Yes.
Not quite sure what they're doing.
Out.
They do like to milk this draw, don't they?
Come on, Gary.
It's drawn out. Come on, Gary. Let's get it going.
Drawn out.
Maybe let's get another question before they get going, because it's going to be at least another 5.
Can I talk to you about Dele Alli? You're talking about young players. Dele Alli, we've seen him do it in big games. He's not had his best season for Spurs. I don't think anyone can contest that. But he was on fire against Real Madrid. Man of the match performance, 2 goals, should have scored a third. You looked at the game against Chelsea, lost. He's a big game player. When talking about young players, surely he is exactly the kind of guy that could explode at a World Cup and just have a great tournament.
I think his stock is so high now that, he's another person who breakout is not a word you associate with him, but
internationally though it is, because he hasn't had it.
Which is why I said Leroy Sané. But I completely agree. If he can bring that, see that England's system doesn't suit Dele Alli's talents, does it?
It doesn't. No.
Playing in that number 10 role.
The balls are out.
I'm going to stop you there, Chris, because the first ball is being drawn.
Who's that?
Come on, England.
Is that Zidane?
I think it's going to be Russia as the home nation. Yes, it is Russia, because they are, of course, the host nation.
I almost like
so Russia, and they will, of course, just worth pointing out, Russia will be Group A, and they'll be number 1 as well.
Do they draw all the pot 1 teams first?
They draw all the pot 1 teams first, into the relevant groups. So Russia will be Group A, position 1 as the host.
We want to be in Group A as England. England now want to be in Group A, because that is the easiest.
So this is the next ball.
They're on it pretty quickly, are they?
They are actually flying through it.
Is this Gordon?
There you go. Just to confirm what I just said, Gordon Banks, England legend, has put Russia into Group A, position 1. A1 is Russia, so they will have the first game of the tournament in Russia by Russia.
Do they have to take 2 balls out for every one team? Lads, this is going to run for another 2 hours.
So get your comments in as well. Do not forget, let us know who you think is going to win, how far you think England will get, and react to the draw itself. Next team out, Portugal.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Which means Portugal will go into Group B.
Yeah.
OK.
They'll be happy.
There you can see.
OK, so as an England fan, I'd take Group A or Group B.
And I think that this is just...
I agree. I know that Portugal have some strong players, but I'm not convinced about their midfield depth either.
I think Portugal have similar problems to England, except we don't have Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got Harry Kane, though. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, 10 goals less than him in qualification, mate, so...
It's just confirmation, as we said, that Portugal assumed the position B1. So each ball, the first ball that comes out is the name of the country, and then the next ball is the position they assume within that group. So that is just confirmation, as we knew, that Portugal are in Group B, position 1. So the next ball, if I'm getting this right, will be another nation. Yes, it is. It's France, and they will assume Group C. See, I understand it's working. It's quite straightforward.
And they're going to go into C1. There we go.
They will go into Group C. And as you can see from our graphics at the bottom of your screen, you will see, look, Joe, look.
Wow, mate,
another incredible list.
It's amazing.
Diego Forlan.
I mean, France, they're going to take some stock.
There you go. France are in C1.
What do you think about France's defence, though?
Incredible.
It is incredible, actually. What am I talking about? Varane,
Umtiti,
who's possibly been one of the best centre-backs in Europe.
Koscielny, Zuma.
Big problems at left-back without Benjamin Mendy. Because it's likely Kurzawa was going to have to start there.
I mean, he's better going forward, isn't he? I think him and Aurier both had a good time of it at PSG because they saw so much of the ball.
You can't pick many holes, can you, in the French team, but the left-back
Oh, they're not mucking about, Joe, because they've just picked the 4th country, and that is Argentina. So first ball out, Russia in Group A, Portugal Group B, France Group C.
Right, in terms of preference then, are we going Group A first, and then I think I'd go...
Then Group
B, then D, then C, as you're an England fan, yeah?
Argentina, strong team. We have barely talked about them, but defensively, Argentina problems.
What about this, then, for a breakout player in this tournament? Mario Icardi.
Mauro, not bad, because he has been in such good form for so many seasons for Inter Milan.
15 goals in 14 games this season already.
It's incredible.
Argentina.
And
worth pointing out as well, Argentina snuck through, didn't they? There was a time at which you didn't think Argentina were going to qualify, and then Messi produced some magic. Obviously, still got Mascherano, Di Maria, Dybala, Aguero.
We haven't
even spoken about Argentina. They've got some.
I think Argentina's last 8 games, Messi scored 7, and the other was an own goal.
Yeah, I mean,
so we say that.
We talk about how good Argentina are going forward. No other Argentinian player has scored a goal since November 2016.
They are very reliant upon Lionel Messi.
Despite Aguero. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Dybala, not even talked about him.
No,
potentially.
Dybala, Di Maria.
Yeah, it's
Aguero,
incredible.
Messi, there's a lot.
But they only scored 19 goals in qualifying, which is not.
Yeah, they did struggle.
Great.
They did struggle. And another ball is out. Brazil are in Group G, I believe that is. A, B, C, D, E.
Brazil are in Group E.
No, they're in Group E. They're in Group E. So Russia, Portugal, France, Argentina and Brazil are all out of the pot. Here we go. Group F has just been drawn, and that is Germany. Worth pointing out as well, Germany are the reigning holders, and they are also the favourites by a lot of bookmakers to win the tournament as well. Many people believe that is England's toughest opponent from pot 1.
What's Vakim Löw writing down there? It's just the letter F.
Do you know what? It's a really good point, this. I always wonder what they're writing down, because that's his own team. What is he writing down?
Wacky.
And it's not as if his people won't tell him who you've bought, who you've got in the group.
I mean, talk about continuity. Vakim Löw's been at Germany for 11 years, and he was assistant manager before then. Now
that's quality, isn't it?
That just is such good forward planning, isn't
Interesting styles. I mean, whenever you get a cutaway of Vakim Löw on the touchline, you never know what he's going to do.
Yeah, the last World Cup, infamous.
Right, Belgium are out.
Bobby Martinez is happy. He's in Group G.
Thierry Henry as well, of course. Guys Henry is a coach at Belgium as well.
Yeah.
How big of an impact would that have, do you think? The likes of Lukaku, who's been started great. You know, if you've got Henry as a coach.
It would help having someone that charismatic around the team. I'm not sure how he is as a coach. But
I'm sure he has a big effect on Romelu Lukaku. And obviously Romelu Lukaku, well, he kind of is and isn't Belgium's top goal scorer, because he gets to 31 and then FIFA didn't count 3 of the goals, so he drops back down. But I'm sure he is having a big impact on Romelu's finishing.
They seem to have a good rapport. Anyway, every time you see them in interviews together, it's banter.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which group do you want as England now, then?
Group H, Poland going to Group H.
My preference
Russia
is
and then Belgium in the two
Group
easiest.
A, Group H, and then I think Group B. Group A, H, then B. Russia.
That is just
Poland,
confirmation that
Portugal.
they assume position H1 Poland. So we can wrap up. All the pot 1s are drawn. Group A is Russia, Group B is Portugal, Group C is France, Group D Argentina, Group E is Brazil, Group F is Germany, Belgium, and then Poland. G for Belgium, H for Poland.
Let us know in the comments below if you can see the white on the blue in our colour scheme, because I'm struggling.
Seb will be delighted with that comment.
Right, there's the next ball coming out. Come on, this could be England.
Maradona.
Pot 2 now. This could be England.
The big thing here is Maradona is still wearing his yellow bow tie.
Uruguay.
Uruguay are the first team from pot 2 to be drawn. Uruguay are ranked 17th in the world at the minute.
And they do have good strikers. Cavani and Suarez.
Cavani and Suarez, they've got goals in them.
Not bad.
So they've just drawn Uruguay. Now they're just going to confirm what group they'll be in. Gordon Banks is doing the honours.
So they can't go into Group D, they can't go into Group E, can they?
They will be in Group A.
Shout out to Gordon Banks, he's from Leicester.
This will be confirmation they'll be in Group A.
No.
A4, yes, Uruguay. Okay. So it assumes it goes from A through to H.
OK, I've got
The first team goes to A, the next team goes to B. Only won't be B if there's a team from the same confederation already in there. So the next team will be in Group B, except if it's a European team.
So surely the second ball was just decide the fixtures as well?
The second ball decides the number in the group,
But what's the point in being fourth? Why would you be
Because
fourth?
it's a position of where it is in the group to determine the fixtures.
Oh, OK, I've got Spain. Here
So
we go.
Spain, it's a prime example. If you're not understanding the rules, Spain
Surely not.
have just been drawn out. They are the second team from pots two to be drawn out. Some great cutaways there. They're very animated, aren't they, the crowd?
I mean, are they?
That's Portugal's manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santos.
So they've drawn the ball for
Spain
Spain.
and Portugal, that's a great
Bad
group.
blood. Bad blood
Yeah,
between
real
them.
bad
And they've
blood.
played with each other. They've played against each other.
it was penalties, wasn't it?
It was penalties. Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo
They tried to
didn't
buy
take one.
Cristiano Ronaldo, though, didn't they, Spain?
Yeah, so that is
Conspiracy
confirmation that Spain is
May or may not
going
be
into
true.
Group B with Portugal. So just to confirm,
What a group.
that will be the opening game. Portugal's opening game will be against their rivals Spain. There's a lot of history there.
We don't want England here. We
The
do not want
next team
France.
will go into Group C, so it goes in order from Group A through to H.
Do not want France.
Don't forget, England are in this pot.
Peru.
Peru.
Great draw for France.
Wow.
Great draw for
So
France. I
Peru
think.
will go into Group C with France.
You're underdogs, no? Did you have them as your dark horse?
Yeah, in terms of I think they'll potentially overperform if a smaller team does so.
Okay, so they go in
So
with
now
France.
they're
I'd be
going into
happy.
France.
I'd be happy with that if I was French.
And now the second ball is just to
Allez-vous.
determine what position they are in Group C.
So England now,
C3.
if I'm as an England fan, I'm desperate just to be drawn in Group H. I think the rest of the pots we will really struggle in against Argentina, Brazil, Germany, and Belgium.
They are the options. Argentina, Germany, Belgium, Brazil and Poland are England's options at the minute.
Not England. Not England.
Maradona will be drawing
We're
going to
get drawn in this
ball.
group against Argentina.
Do you
I've
think?
just got the
3,
feeling. I've got the
2.
feeling. It's
Oh, it's
Croatia.
Croatia.
Ooh.
Do you know what I like
they-
Croatia as well? We're talking about underdogs. I don't like Rakitic, Mandzukic,
Mate,
Modric.
organisationally, they are all over
They've
the
got
place.
some
I think they've
good
got through
players in their
3
team.
managers during the qualification process.
I don't know.
But that golden generation is coming towards an end, isn't it? Perisic,
This is their last,
Modric.
this is their last chance, yeah.
9 of the starting 11 at the World Cup will be over the age of 29.
I don't know if that's necessarily a dreadful thing, having experience in a major tournament.
No, it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. But behind
Diego
the scenes,
Forlan?
politics, media, all of that is an absolute shambles at the moment.
So Croatia have been drawn, Joe, in Group D against Argentina. So you'd favourite Argentina to win that group?
Sure.
Argentina for
Sampaoli.
me. Argentina.
Sampaoli's got a lot to do with that Argentinian side, though.
Yeah, they're
Right.
all over the place.
So there's only 4 balls left in pot 2, of which England are one of them. We still don't know England's fate.
Not Germany.
Who actually
not
dressed
Germany.
Maradona?
Not Germany.
Switzerland.
Oh, no.
We're in
So
big trouble, eh?
Switzerland go into Brazil's group.
I reckon we're going to get Belgium.
We're going to get Germany, mate.
Can I just confirm, for those following
really
at
don't
home,
want
that
Germany.
means England can only get Germany, Belgium or Poland.
We're going to get Germany.
You think we need
Just
Germany?
got a feeling.
I got a
What
feeling.
would be England's worst from here? Germany, what would be England's best? Poland, you'd say?
England's best, definitely Poland. England's worst. Oh, Germany.
Although-
We all said, though, Germany was the worst team to draw, didn't
we did.
Although I don't think Poland would particularly fear England either.
No, I wouldn't either, but
No.
no team will they? Not under Gareth Southgate at the moment, I don't think.
Poland's solid
Having a bit of a
defence,
giggle
good
up there.
attack.
They seem to be really enjoying this, Giorgio, don't they?
Come on, there you go.
Maradona once
Don't
again.
draw England in here. Don't draw England now.
What do the lads in Social Corner think to our...
Not England, not
the
England,
draw
not
so
England.
far? Zach?
Yes!
Oh,
Thank goodness
Mexico.
we
As
got
you said,
Germany.
England do not want Germany, and Belgium wouldn't be great either. Hazard, Lukaku, Courtois in goal, Company, Vertonghen. How many more do we need to list?
lads.
Poland is the best outcome. What's your opinion, Nathan?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. For England, they've got to hope, as you say, for Poland, it's a no-brainer between those two. Oh, we're just watching
know
as
what?
it comes in a minute.
I'll take Belgium, lads. I will take Belgium because they're very similar to England. They've got a lot of individuals. They underperform. We'd rather Poland, but I think out of all the options, Belgium or Poland, when we've just gone through Argentina, Brazil and Germany,
Yeah, we've done well.
I don't think
We've
they've
done
done
really
well.
well. We've done really well.
We're all
It's a
in
good
agreement
start.
we've done well. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Maradona. It's only a matter of time before it draws England. England have been drawn. There we go.
Belgium. We'll take that, though.
We
England,
will
Belgium,
take that.
we'll take
we will
that.
take that.
Suspect.
Let us know in the comment section what you think of England's draw. There is Gareth Southgate. He looks okay there. He looks fairly pleased with that draw.
I'd have preferred Belgium to Portugal.
Yeah?
Did you? Yeah.
And I think other than that, we've probably got the 3rd easiest pot 1 team.
Can I just say, Group H is looking like a shambles. Colombia and Poland so far. Nobody's watching the Group H game.
G4. So England are in a group
Did
with
you have
Belgium.
Colombia as your underdogs?
I had
They
Colombia
could
as
sneak
underdogs.
through him.
Yeah, I'm serious. Colombia could
Joe,
definitely go for it.
interestingly, so Belgium take up position 1 in Group G. England take up position 4, which means England's final game in the group will be against Belgium.
Not good. That's not good.
So the final game will be what we think at this stage will be the 2 favourites from the group.
With England, you don't want it all to play for on the
yeah,
last
you
day.
just don't want it all to play for. Not
So
good.
just to
Colombia.
confirm, the last team out of Group H, out of pot 2, is Colombia that go into Group H. Colombia will play Poland. I mean, do you know what? Colombia I'd probably put them favourites against Poland in that scenario.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Colombia...
They've dropped off a little bit.
Are all about how Falcao performs in front of goal, really. So.
Let's quickly go to Social Corner. What are people saying about England's draw, Zach and Nath?
A lot of people seem relatively happy, to be honest. There are a couple of people that would have preferred maybe Poland, but they're happy with Belgium. They're happy with Belgium.
General consensus.
To be honest, my main gripe is I can't help think that if Northern Ireland had beaten Switzerland, we would be in there with Brazil! Brazil!
Right. I think we need to give Nathan a moment. Nathan, talk to us. How upset were you with Northern Ireland's Switzerland result?
To be honest, I still can't get over that refereeing decision. They robbed our country, and the second leg we played so well. So while I'm enjoying watching this, my heart is aching.
Nathan, the atmosphere at Brazil, Northern Ireland would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, he's rubbing it in.
Well,
right,
moving on. You got to admit that what the Northern Irish and the Irish fans brought to the Euros was something special, so I think that's going to be missed in Russia.
Yeah, I can confirm Northern Ireland were brilliant in France. They're great fans. But, Nathan, they are not in Euro World Cup 2018, shall I say?
Easy for me to say.
World Cup 2018.
Egypt
are out.
Mo Salah is
I
out.
thought you called you in Egypt.
Mo Salah is out.
Uruguay and Russia. That's not too bad if you're Egypt. I think there's a chance if you're Egypt that you could progress through that group potentially.
Group A is fairly weak, isn't it? Russia, Uruguay, Russia, Uruguay and Egypt.
Happy days for
Right, so this is where it gets interesting with the permutations. Denmark are the next team drawn from pot 3, so they would go into Group B, but Portugal and Spain are already there, who are 2 European nations, meaning Denmark can't go into Group B.
Yeah.
Denmark will therefore go into Group C, because there is only one other European nation, which is France. So this will be confirmation that Denmark will go in with France and Peru. That would be a good game. Denmark-France would be good, wouldn't it?
Denmark-France would be good, yeah.
Yeah,
Eriksen against Lloris.
Denmark are no pushovers.
Denmark, France and Peru.
Classic, you've worked the Spurs angle on that draw.
Yeah. Denmark, France and Peru is a really tough group.
That is a tough group.
Do you think Lloris is a good captain?
I think he's a great captain, yeah.
Yeah?
I think he's a good captain.
Talk to me about his distribution, Smithy. Not the
We
best.
don't have time to talk about this distribution because we've just drawn another ball.
Not the best, though.
So I've got to say they're rattling through this.
They are
watching
really,
the last
thank goodness.
Right, Iran are out.
One of our colleagues, Milad, will be watching this intensely, and they've not got a great draw
He's
here.
No, they've not got a great
striker
draw.
for FDFC, but he will be upset at that one.
Portugal,
Iran, of
Spain
course.
and Iran.
Worth pointing out Iran's coach, Carlos Queiroz, former Portugal manager, Man United.
And they've had a
is
very
Madrid.
mean defence as well, haven't
12 consecutive clean sheets in qualifying, Iran kept.
They also came through 2 different groups unbeaten as well. So
Who's
they've
their
had a
star
very
player?
good qualifying campaign.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Azmoun, is it? Iran?
I think they've got one lad playing in Dubai who's really, really strong up front.
Sadar Azmoun. Ashton Jagger plays as well.
Is Ali Dye still going?
No, Ali Dye's
And
not.
they have
hero
been-
he was.
They have been put into their group as well, so they're rattling through these balls at the minute.
They really are.
Bodes well for us.
It's good.
So Iran are in with Portugal and Spain. Denmark are in with France and Peru.
Iceland
as
go
you
with
can see
Argentina
from
and
the graphics.
Croatia.
Nathan, did you think that's an island?
Oh, you can't even speak anymore.
So that is Group D is shaping up nice now. Group D is Argentina, Croatia,
And Iceland.
and Iceland.
It's not too bad.
That's
not
not
too bad.
what?
Again,
You're
Iceland.
underdogs, Croatia.
Again, though, if I was Iceland looking at that group, I would think there's a chance I can get through that.
Yeah, Iceland, of
Seriously,
course, are the
against
only
Croatia and
country.
Argentina.
Iceland are the only country with a population of under 1 million to have ever reached a World Cup. They're the smallest nation to be in the World Cup, and of course, they're not England out of the Euros.
They did. Apparently, they're going to take 15 to 20% of the entire population
Incredible.
of Iceland to the tournament.
I went to Iceland. In,
Nice place.
Was it October?
Yeah, something like that.
I remember. Beautiful people. The
Yeah,
Blue
they are.
Lagoon, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
God, what a place that is.
I was at the match I was at France for is in the stadium for England against Iceland in Nice, I believe it was, and the fans, the Icelandic fans were incredible, and I think 10% of their population were out in France
Yeah,
for
it
that,
was 10%.
which is
Yeah.
amazing.
More expected to go
And
to
they
the
were
World
saying, I was
Cup.
chatting to them after, and they said that was one of the biggest days in Iceland's history, not sporting history, just for everything, the economy, for what Iceland did against England was just incredible. And they're now in a World Cup.
Immortalised the old clap celebration as well,
Thunderclap
didn't
was
they?
phenomenal. So where are we at? Group D is Argentina, Iceland and Croatia. So we are now in Group
E. Ooh,
E.
that's not a great group, Group E. Not a great group. Costa Rica, Switzerland and Brazil.
Costa Rica.
Brazil will be happy with that.
Which means England can only have Tunisia and Senegal. We can't have Sweden because we've already got Belgium. So England's opponents will be Tunisia or Senegal. England famously playing Tunisia. Remember that 2-0 game? I think Scholesy scored.
Yeah, this is so
Back
we're
in the day.
guaranteed one of the African sides, which is actually really good. Looking forward to playing the African sides.
I can't think of many Tunisian players, lads. Wabi Kazri, maybe?
Wabi
of
Kazri,
yes.
Sunderland fame?
Yeah.
Correct, Wabi Kazri.
Any other standout players for them?
Senegal, I would much prefer Tunisia over Senegal at this stage, coming out of pot 3 and seeing.
You prefer Tunisia?
Is it
100%.
Egypt's goalkeeper that's 45?
Yes, Egypt's goalkeeper will be the oldest in the tournament.
Massive props to him. What a guy,
Incredible.
still going at 45. That record will never be topped.
What do we think of Group F? Germany, Mexico and Sweden. Right, this is England's group. It will be Tunisia or Senegal in Group G to join England and Belgium.
Tunisia. Do not want Senegal at this stage.
It is Tunisia.
That's a great draw
so England's
for England.
group is shaping up nicely. The only thing I'll say, Joe, is we've said this with draws before. You know, Wales and Russia, we didn't win that group. Algeria, USA, we didn't win that group. Are we looking too much into this, saying this draw is great?
Italy, Uruguay and Costa Rica was a really tough draw.
The only thing I will say about Tunisia, they have been on good form. Obviously, the current holders of the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
So let's not discount them completely, because to win that tournament, you have to be good in the big games.
That's a very good point.
So although we wanted them, they could well turn England over.
I'm just soaking in Group F now. That is there's teams with incredible pedigree in there.
Yeah. Senegal, just to confirm that, Senegal are the last team to be drawn from pot 3, so they will, of course, go into Group H with Poland and Colombia.
It's a good draw for Senegal as well.
Good draw for Senegal. Stand a good chance there. I think Sadio Mane will be looking forward to going up against that Polish defence.
Also, Joe, what that means as well, they've just done the position of Tunisia. They assume position 3, which means that England's first game in our group will be against Tunisia.
We've got to beat them.
We have to win, yeah. We have to win that game.
That's a must-win. That reminds me of... Who was it a few years ago we drew 0-0 with? Was it at the 2010 World Cup? No, 2000...
The USA 1-1?
No, it was 0-0. It was one of the worst games I've ever watched. It might have been Algeria,
I was at that game.
I think.
I was at the World Cup in South Africa.
And I went to get Algeria 0-0 written all over it.
It was the famous incident when Rooney off to the match. Right, pot 4. They are rattling with these draws. So stay with us. Let us know in the comment section what you think of England's group as well. And also, I'd like to know from you guys who you think are the tournament favourites having done the draw. Whether it changes, because the odds always change after the draw. Does it affect your predictions?
Not much for me. I obviously predicted Spain. I think Spain have got enough class to beat Portugal, and definitely they'll hammer Iran.
Yeah.
They might even rest a few players for that Iran game. We call it resting.
So, lads, is that Saudi Arabia just going into Group A?
So, Saudi Arabia are the first team to have been drawn.
I think second place is up for grabs in Group A.
Saudi Arabia will be drawn into Group A. Definitely. Obviously, they are an Asian qualifier.
Egypt will be delighted with that group. I really think Egypt stand a chance of getting through that group.
Do you know what I think? I think we could be looking at, just a prediction from me, Group A could be one of the first groups where the pot 1 team doesn't go through.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that,
and I think
ever
happened once before,
Uruguay and Egypt, I think, could quite easily go through that group, and Russia might find themselves not qualifying.
I love the World Cup.
Yeah.
Get all excited.
Get all excited.
Yeah, it is exciting.
So they get Serbia.
Said that so deadpan. Yeah. Yes, it is exciting.
Yeah, I am very excited. Yeah. Quickly, let's go to comments corner, social corner. Zach, what you got for us?
Well, Batshuayi has tweeted England's ... eye emoji, but people in the comments are asking which keeper would you start for the Three Lions?
For the Three Lions, I personally think Jack Butland. I think Jack Butland is the best keeper when fit. Issues, obviously, that he has got an injury at the minute. Interestingly, we interviewed him, actually, that's on Stockholm's YouTube channel right now. I would say Jack Butland. I know that you disagree with that. And we've got to crack on because the draws the next draws become, I think, Serbia, the next team to come out. Now, this is interesting. Serbia have not gone into B, C or D. They have had to go into Group E, that is.
Brazil are going to score 20 goals
because there's too many European teams in the others. So that means Group E, Joe. What are your thoughts on Group E?
Brazil are going to hammer through that group.
Brazil, really Switzerland, Croatia and Serbia.
Yeah. So a favourable draw for Brazil.
Which is why I'm saying Neymar, golden boot. Neymar will score a lot of goals in that group.
Yeah, I mean, do the group, any of the groups change your golden boot thinking now? Because there's been, I would say, potentially, Morata will struggle to score goals against Portugal, especially against that ageing backline that are just going to sit deep and are going to try and physically manhandle him.
Mexico got absolutely battered in the Confederations Cup by both Chile and Germany, so Germany probably be happy to see them again. Thomas Müller and Timo Werner, that's a combination of the pair. Yeah. We'll probably be licking the lips.
Yeah, 4-1 that was in the Confederations Cup, Germany, Mexico.
Next team out is Morocco, of course. Morocco, African. From the African Confederation, there isn't an African team in Group B, therefore Morocco go into Group B. So that group, that's shaping up quite nice as well. Portugal, Spain, Morocco and Iran. Joe, is that that Portugal, Spain for you?
We could literally name that group what's going to happen at the end. That's going to be Spain, Portugal, Morocco and then Iran, rock bottom.
Writings on the wall, yeah.
Writings on the wall, big time.
Australia are the next team to come out. They are an Asian qualifier, so they will go into Group C, I believe, because there isn't another Asian team in there. You've got France, Peru and Denmark, so confirmation that Australia
still in with a shout of getting Panama. If England want Panama here, surely we want Panama. Because we could get Panama and Tunisia in our group. which would be a really good draw.
But the thing is, you still need to win your group. So we've still got to get points off Belgium because you're assuming Belgium would take points off both of them.
We've also said that particularly Group A you're looking at potentially as a pot 1 winner not even going through.
Yes.
I mean, I could easily see teams like
Poland,
Croatia and stuff being as a second seed. So it's not necessarily the worst thing if you don't get top spot.
OK, next team drawn.
Here we go.
Nigeria are the next team to be drawn. There's only a few teams left. This is, of course, pot 4. They are drawing.
D4.
That is Diego Forlan.
Potentially the toughest.
That's a tough group.
So that is
4th seeded team. Yeah.
That's a tough group.
Group
Argentina,
D
Iceland, Croatia,
Argentina,
Nigeria.
Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria. Anything can happen in that group.
That's a really tough group. And Argentina, although we think they're a good side, like we talked about, Jorge Sampaoli has a lot of work to do. He's come in late into this qualification process, and his style is so demanding.
He'll be,
saw it at Sevilla.
Panama cannot get England, Joe. Panama cannot get England. Oh, yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Because Panama won't be drawn in F. I think I'm right in thinking
So
they can't play Mexico because they're from the same confederation. Which means Panama must go into England's group. In Group G, I think that is going to be confirmed, which means Panama will make up Belgium, Tunisia and England. Carlos Puyol is just about to confirm that.
We have to beat Panama. If we
Yes, they are.
If we don't beat Panama, then those players should never play for England
Were you
again.
impressed with my geography there, though?
We could
Eventually.
not only, give Iceland their greatest day in greatest sporting
I didn't want Panama, Joe, for all the reasons you said were valid, but it's also exactly what you just said. We gave Iceland their greatest day. They are first time they've ever been in the tournament. Panama, that's a banana skin.
I was joking, Smithy. If that happens, then
seriously, if we don't beat
just
Panama,
fold.
if we don't beat Panama, these players should never play for England again.
But we lost to Iceland.
Yeah,
They're a smaller nation.
I know.
Yeah.
But this Panama, we should. By the way, the players that played against Iceland should be hanging their heads in shame still to this day.
Panama. Going back to what you said about a larger population, Panama have actually got a very good coach as well. He's taken Ecuador to the finals, he's taken Colombia to the finals, one of only 2 men to take 3 teams to the finals. So,
good draw for England, though.
Japan are out.
Seasoned coach.
That's a good
Japan
draw.
going
It's a very
to
good
H
draw, mate.
to complete the World Cup draw. Poland, Senegal, Colombia and Japan. Worth pointing out as well, Germany, Mexico, Sweden and South Korea.
Yes.
Shimmering Suns
also
team.
a very good pot 4 team.
Worth pointing out as well, Saudi Arabia are the lowest ranked team in the draw. They are 63rd.
I'll tell you what, Group H, I can't predict a winner from that. Poland, Senegal, Colombia and Japan. That is really, really tough. That's a hell of a group. Anybody could win that group.
Yeah,
absolutely anybody.
Let's just
could win that
recap
group.
England's group. So Belgium are ranked 5th in the world. England have also got Panama. Panama are ranked 49th in the world.
1,000 to 1.
And Tunisia, 28th in the world. Considering England were in pot 2, that's quite a favourable draw, Joe, isn't it?
I'm very happy with that draw. I think that's a really good draw for England. I'm sure Gareth Southgate will be delighted.
You're seeing the confirmation of the groups now. You can see them on the bottom of your screen. Chris, what is the group of death there, do you think? Hardest group for you there?
On screen now, Group F. Germany, Mexico, Sweden... Oh, Korea as well. I mean, second place could be Mexico or Sweden there. Group of death. Has it been on screen yet? Has it already rotated?
I don't know whether there is a group
Portugal,
of death.
Spain? You haven't Portugal, Spain?
I think that's a foregone conclusion with that, disrespect to Morocco
France,
and
Denmark?
Iran.
I don't think there's a group of death. I think the 2 hardest groups are D and H. Argentina, Iceland, Croatia,
There's a couple
Nigeria.
of groups where second place is really up for grabs, isn't there?
I think Group D is
H.
open, yeah.
Group H, not even second place is up for grabs. I think anybody could win the group in Group H. Poland, Senegal, Colombia and Japan. There is no favourite there, I don't think.
What about you, mate?
I think the most open group is the one that's just disappeared from the screen now, which was
How is it?
Argentina's group. Yeah, I think that is the most open group. France, and I think the toughest to predict an outcome. I think Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria could all qualify from that, as can Argentina. Portugal, Spain will be interesting to see who'll top that group. You'd like to think Spain, but that would be first game as well. Portugal versus Spain. That would be a hell of a first game. There is. I agree with you, Joe. There's not really one group of death. I don't think there's one group where there's 3 massive teams in which we have seen in the past.
No.
Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, England.
A few people on the chat, I'm just watching the stream as well, saying Group D, but maybe we should go to Social Corner.
Yeah, Social Corner, lads.
Yes, well, F is coming up a lot. J, D, G, F again, D again, F again. F seems to be the one and D as well. But, Nathan, what is our next question for the guys?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that the people are really rejoicing, the English fans we've had in the
are.
comments. That
They're happy, yeah?
We've got Sealy George, who said, top of the group, easy.
Oh, never say that.
Then we've got Richard.
Why would you say that?
Then we've got Richard Scott saying it should be a decent group for England. And also, on the Brazilian side of things, Kaká has tweeted...
He's watching?
He's
watching us?
tweeted and he said, I love the World Cup. You're so beautiful. So clearly he's happy with Brazil's draw.
What a man. What a man.
Yeah.
Zach, we got any other...
And yes, the question that we
tweet?
did have on the South American thing is Messi. It could be his last World Cup, potentially. Do you think, really, to prove his true greatness, that he needs to go and win this tournament?
I'm going to jump in here and say no, absolutely not. I do not buy the argument that you have to win a World Cup to be a world-class player because, you know, it's like George Best was never played in one. It depends what country you're from. I don't buy the argument that you have to win a World Cup. You might play for a nation that never qualifies for World Cup. So for me, it doesn't make him a great player that he hasn't won. I don't buy the argument that he'll never be a great player because he's never won a World Cup. What do you think?
I think the Argentinian FA have really just let him down, and they've let a golden generation, I know we've used that term pretty loosely today, kind of slip through their fingers to an extent. They're a mess behind the scenes. I've read a couple of articles speaking to some South American sort of journalists on Twitter, and they're an absolute mess. But no, for me, I agree with you, Smithy. He has nothing left to prove, having scored over 500 goals with Barcelona, destroying people week in, week out. But it would help.
They're just showing the last time England played Tunisia. I mean, actually, Shearer and I believe Scholes got the second, did he? This was a great England team as well.
I mean, I don't think Zach's mum and dad had thought him up at this point, so...
So Monday the 18th of June will be England's first game against Tunisia.
What a finish, Paul.
Where will that be? Where are England going to be based?
Good
Do we
point.
know where England are going to be based yet? If you know at home, let us know in the comments, because we clearly don't in the studio.
Paul Scott was the greatest ginger international.
Ooh, yeah, he's probably got a bit. Ronald Koeman also making a shout there. Ronald Koeman, don't want to discount him. Strawberry blonde, though. Strawberry blonde.
What a free kick
just waiting to find out. They're wrapping the... Oh, we've got the venue. It is in...
In his earpiece now. Where?
Volgograd.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we can get out to Volgograd, so keep an eye out for...
Hopefully we'll be out there.
I do want to go to St. Petersburg, though, especially a beautiful city.
Yeah.
OK, just quickly, having seen the draw, will the odds of who's likely to win, does that make any difference? Do you still have... Do you think Germany will be the favourites?
Yeah, come on. Germany, Brazil, Spain. There's a group of 5 teams that are up there significantly in front of the rest, I think.
Yeah, I think Spain, as I said at the start, still favourites. I think they'll beat Portugal in their group, and I think England will end up finishing second. And
do you think?
Like I said, when I go out of the round of 16, we'll pull a decent team, a Germany or a Spain, and then we are in trouble.
I think England might win that group. I'm quite happy with that group.
I like your positive vibe.
Yeah,
like
but let's be
Smithy.
positive. We're hopefully going out there to cover the World Cup. Let's be positive. Let's hope England can win the World Cup. Any chance England win the World Cup?
No.
OK, thank you for tuning in. Guys, Social Corner, thank you very much. Have you got a final comment or tweet or post from us?
Yes, in fact, one country that did not make it was Italy. Who do you think is going to be the biggest underachiever this year?
Biggest
let's take it quickly. Biggest underachiever?
For me, it will be England.
Oh, Joe, I just said about ending on a positive
Sorry,
note.
mate. I'm trying to be positive.
I probably think Belgium again. What about you, Smith?
Belgium. I think Portugal might underachieve.
OK.
That group, Spain, I don't think they'll win that group, and I think they'll play a tough game. I mean, I said that the whole Euros and ended up winning it, so...
what do you know?
What do I know? Exactly. Thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoyed that. Did you enjoy it, boys?
It was good. It was good. Thanks very much, Smithy.
That is the end of the live stream.
3 hours to get your
World
makeup
Cup
off
draw.
now, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to go get the makeup off now, so we'll chisel it off. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you very soon.
Bye.